How to Train Your Dragon might be the greatest animated movie ever. It's coming against some heavy hitters, but wow. Like many of you, I watched How to Train Your Dragon when it was released all the way back in 2010, when the first iPad dropped, Baby came out, and silly bands were a thing. But apart from that, one diamond in the rough shined through.
My diamond in the rough.
And that is How to Train Your Dragon. As a kid, I remember watching this movie, but I never liked it that much, to be honest. I have much fonder memories of Disney classics like The Lion King or Emperor's New Groove.
Pull the lever, Kronk. Wrong lever!
But after the release for the live-action trailer of How to Train Your Dragon, I decided to go back and watch the animated movie, and boy was I in for a treat.
I'm ready.
First, I want to talk about the plot. The story follows our protagonist Hiccup, yes, that's his name, who is trying to win his father's approval, who is also the head of their village.
Sorry.
In a world where muscle and strength is seen as number one, Hiccup lacks in those departments. But where he doesn't lack is in brains and courage. Their village is at constant war with the dragons, who are seen as evil creatures who take their livestock and burn their houses. With that being said, Hiccup does not see them this way, after befriending what is seen as the most dangerous of all, the Knife Fury, who he names Toothless.
Get it?
The story follows two plot points. The main one, which follows Hiccup as he undergoes dragon training and his hidden relationship with Toothless, while the side plot consists of his father's search for the dragon's nests, as he wants to destroy them for good. This plot, even though I might have made it sound confusing with my awful description, is not confusing or that complex at all, and that's what I love about it. I love when movies, or any form of media, is able to take a simple plot and execute it to perfection. This movie showcases that you don't need a convoluted idea to make a great and interesting movie. But with a fairly simple plot, the movie needs one very important thing: intriguing and complex characters and relationships. And this movie excels in those departments tenfold. The movie explores three main relationships, all surrounding Hiccup. First off, his relationship with Toothless. Toothless and Hiccup's relationship starts out a bit rocky, as one would suspect between a Viking and a dragon. But throughout the movie, their relationship blossoms to one of a person with their beloved pet. Even though this is a relationship between a human and a dragon, the pet-like actions and behavior of Toothless make it extremely relatable, which I loved. Like how can you hate him?
Cute. Super cute.
It was stated that the movement and character designs for Toothless was actually based on that of cats. This helps push the believability of a relationship between these two characters, while also showing the viewers, and Hiccup, that dragons might not be as bad as they initially perceive them to be. Well, some dragons. The first interaction these characters have with each other is after Hiccup shoots Toothless out of the sky. After looking for the downed dragon, Hiccup finds him in the forest. Hiccup, doing what all Vikings would do, decides he wants to kill him, but soon realizes he doesn't have the heart to do so, and so he sets him free. Toothless recognizes this, and instead of shooting him with fire or eating his head off, which is what Hiccup was taught dragons would do, he just roared in his face and tried to fly away, leaving Hiccup alone. Toothless is a dragon who has probably never had an encounter with a human that close before. He isn't going to stay for a while.
Come on in.
He's going to try and get out of the situation he found himself in as fast as he can. This believability is what I adore, because the relationship does not seem fake or forced. So as you know, as you all obviously saw the movie, Toothless can't fly away like he wanted to. In the midst of getting shot out of the sky by Hiccup, he broke half of his tail, making him unable to fly. And this is where we see the relationship of the two flourish. Hiccup notices this, and as a smart kid he is, builds multiple iterations of a device that could help Toothless fly, with himself riding and steering the dragon.
Say it.
Almost like he's training the dragon.
This guy a comedian?
Hiccup visits Toothless on many occasions to test out these devices and to learn more about the species. But Toothless is not very forthcoming at first, which is why Hiccup uses the one thing that will win over any pet to your side. Throughout these encounters, we see a beautiful relationship flourish, where while Hiccup helps Toothless fly again, Toothless helps Hiccup learn more about the dragons, which in turn helps him in his dragon training and impress his father. In the end, we get a loving relationship where one would do anything to help the other, which is seen at the end of the movie. Without them even knowing, they were both lonely and in need of a friend. A good friend helps and brings the best out of you, and unaware to them, these two needed each other to reach their full potential. Hiccup and Toothless's relationship is heartwarming and beautiful, but what I love most about it is its believability and relatability, making it one of the best movie bromances.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yup! Do you want to go do karate in the garage? Yup!
I could go on and on about this relationship, as I think it is one of the best developed ones in any movie ever, but I've been talking about them for way too long, so I'll move on to relationship number 2, between Hiccup and his father. While watching the movie, I was a little indifferent at first about their relationship, as it seemed very cliche. A father who is very different from his son, and whose relationship consists of them not understanding each other. With that being said, it won me over by the end of the movie. In short, Hiccup's father, Stoic, is the leader of the village, and is a very strong and, well, strong-headed man. He deals in absolutes, and when he wants something, he will get it. Stoic is a fantastic foil to Hiccup, especially at the beginning of the movie, where Hiccup is seen as weak and clumsy to the rest of the village, embarrassing Stoic any chance he gets, while Stoic is seen as a father who tries to be there for his son, but is frustrated at the same time, because they don't understand each other, nor is Stoic even trying to understand his son. Through the course of the movie, their relationship goes through ups and downs, with Stoic loving Hiccup after he wins dragon training, to him basically disowning his son when he finds out Hiccup's sympathy and love for the dragons.
You're throwing your lot in with them. You're not a Viking. You're not my son.
That was heavy.
Here, we again see Stoic not understanding his son, as Hiccup tries to reason with his father, telling him that dragons are just like them, just trying to survive. This is resolved in the climax, when after Stoic awakens the Red Death, Hiccup and his friends come to the rescue on Dragonback, in search of Toothless and to help. In the chaos that ensues after angering the Red Death, Toothless, who is in chains, falls into the water and starts to drown. Hiccup, seeing this, jumps into the water and tries to enchain him, but loses consciousness. Stoic at the last second saves Hiccup from drowning, then goes back underwater to save Toothless. Stoic then apologizes for everything.
I'm sorry. For everything.
Yeah, me too.
You don't have to go up there.
We're Vikings. It's an occupational hazard.
I'm proud to call you my son.
Thanks, Dad.
It's enough to make a grown man cry.
This redemption is perfect. Stoic basically disowning his son before is extremely harsh, but his character has been built to deal in absolutes, so it makes sense why he was so harsh to Hiccup. But after seeing Hiccup risk his life for this creature he deemed to be evil, we see a different side of Stoic, where now he finally understands his son, or is at least trying to. Now we are going to move on to what I believe is the weakest part of the movie, and the reason why I won't call it perfect. And that is Hiccup's relationship with his love interest, Astrid. Now before you all attack me, I will say, it is a decently built relationship which definitely gets better throughout the course of the trilogy. I just thought their relationship was kind of rushed. They have their nice moments, but I found the believability of how quickly Astrid falls for Hiccup somewhat unrealistic. It is shown to the audience right from the get-go that Hiccup has a crush on Astrid, but Astrid does not even acknowledge his presence, and when she does, she's extremely rude and looks like she hates him at some points. Even when he succeeds during dragon training, she becomes jealous and resentful. She eventually has a change of heart after having a ride on Toothless with Hiccup, where she sees the error in her previous notions about dragons and is seen to start having feelings for Hiccup. This is where I have a gripe with their relationship. If we had more character moments with Astrid, where we could see her personality outside of her resentment towards Hiccup, then this could be more realistic. But because this is the first time we have seen her show any positive feelings towards Hiccup, this absolute 180 seems unrealistic for her character. I think as a couple they are fantastic, and she's very supportive of him and Toothless. I just found it was rushed. Maybe I would feel different if she was more likable and nice to Hiccup at the beginning of the movie, but as I stated before, her and Hiccup's relationship definitely gets better as the trilogy continues. Okay, can we talk about the score now? I'm a sucker for a good score, and the incredible John Powell blows it out of the water with this one. It is one of, if not my favorite score of all time. I listen to it everywhere. When I'm studying,
I had you looking in the wrong section. How could I be so stupid?
when I'm working out. This score has so many standout tracks, it's hard to choose a favorite. From Forbidden Friendship, which encapsulates the scene where Toothless opens up to Hiccup for the first time exquisitely, to Romantic Flight, which is Hiccup and Astrid's love theme, and is used sparingly yet effectively through the movie, while also sounding enchanting. Then to Test Drive, which might be my favorite score track of all time. It's just banger, after banger, after banger. Finally, as it is the last point in the video, I find it fitting to talk about the ending of the movie, which was beautiful, heartwarming, and bittersweet. I talked before about Stoic's redemption, so I won't talk about that in this part, but I will talk about how beautifully crafted this ending was. Throughout the movie, we are stuck with this question: are all dragons bad? As the movie progresses, we learn more about them through Toothless, and the viewer starts to gain some sympathy towards them, as Hiccup does. But the question still remains, are all dragons bad? This gets answered when Toothless takes Astrid and Hiccup to the dragon's nest. Here we see dragons dumping their stolen food into a void, or so we thought. They are actually feeding their quote-unquote queen dragon, named the Red Death, who they are somewhat telepathically controlled by. This is perfect, as it places blame on a singular being, making the viewer, and Hiccup, and Astrid, feel sympathy for these dragons. They are the victims of a greater being. Toothless and the Red Death come face to face in the climax, where they have their massive battle. One would think this dragon is unkillable, but because of a very cleverly placed throwaway joke earlier in the movie, we know that dragons aren't fireproof on the inside. Because of this, Hiccup smartly instructs Toothless to shoot the Red Death in the mouth as soon as he is about to shoot them, killing the dragon. This is awesome, as it rewards critical movie watchers, as they would know this would kill the dragon. But for most viewers who aren't that critical, such as myself, this came as a surprise, but made sense as it was set up beforehand. Unfortunately, after Toothless kills the Red Death, Hiccup falls into the fire, which its dead body created. Toothless sees this and dives after him, catching Hiccup before he hits the ground, but it's a little too late. Thankfully, Toothless was able to save Hiccup's life, but Hiccup loses a leg, now needing a prosthetic one to walk. This full circle moment is beautiful and bittersweet, as it shows they both need each other emotionally and now physically. We also see dragons become accepted into the village, where most people have their own pet dragon, which again is very wholesome. How to Train Your Dragon does not break boundaries in animation or storytelling, nor is it trying to. It tells a simple yet effective story perfectly, and that's what I love. Nowadays, we see plenty of movies which are trying to stand out with complicated and intricate plots or flashy animation, but they get the simple things so wrong, such as not having interesting, fun characters and believable yet complex relationships. How to Train Your Dragon is able to make you feel like this world is real, like it's been lived in, and for a medium like animation where anything is possible, that is hard to accomplish, and I commend them for that. So the next time you're looking for a movie to watch, give this one a try. It might blow you away.